Hi folks, how are you all doing? It is nice to see you, or well, to be seen by you. I think I'm live. I'm not seeing any chat, but that oh, I see chat now. I see some chat on the screen. Hey folks, and I can see that I'm live on Insta, so let me just go live over there. Yeah, so I think that's us. How is everybody doing? Has everyone had a good week so far? I'm just going to open this can of Amber. I'm just letting you know because I know that it can actually be quite loud. It always gives the dogs a fright when I open it for some reason. So yeah. Oh, how strange. So I can see Sorsha on the stream on the not stream on the restream chat, and I can see Golden and I can see Apox. But I can't see Chris coming up on the chat, nor can I see Simon or Donna from Artists and Oracles. Sausage is the first comment that I see. Wonder why that is. Well, if it's maybe, if you have said, let me see if I got a time on yours. It says 9 o'clock. Unless you have said hello before I've hit the go live button, and this only starts pulling the chat through when I go live, maybe? Don't know. Malamir's here over on Instagram. Hi, Malamir. It's nice to actually see Malamir and be able to see her chatting because she's not been able to chat on YouTube. I'm actually going to say hey. Marita's here as well. Hi, Marita. Donna, I can see your comment now. It must have just been that. It must have been like kind of it hadn't started pulling the chat through yet until I pressed go live, maybe. But yeah, I see Marita and I can see Chris's comment now. And yeah, you've said, yeah, you commented before I went live. And that means that Simon and Chris's first comment, they would both have been before then as well. So yeah, oh, that's odd. I commented hey on the Instagram live and it's not went through unless because I hit enter then to press post. That's strange. That doesn't seem to be going on. Malamir, if it is and you can see it, then let me know because I'm not seeing it. Like when I'm saying hey to you, I'm not seeing it like add on to the Instagram chat, which is strange because usually when I'm doing the spreads, I'm able to like post in the prompts in the Instagram live chat. Hey ho. Simon, I see you now. Let's see. I see the lovely Marion. Hi, Marion. How are you? Apox is the cut off before you started. Okay, fair enough. Strange things. What's everybody drinking? Has everyone got a wee drink? It is sipped in Sling after all. So I've got iron brew, as you can see, but I did before I went live there. I ran into Sandy's wee nerdy room and I said, if you happen to find yourself making coffee later, I would like a coffee. And that's basically code for, please make me a coffee. Hey, Debbie, how are you? Did everyone see, I put on a couple of posts on the Facebook group last week. But one of them was, I'm just getting a link to the Facebook group as I'm speaking, so that if anyone is here and isn't already a member, you can come over and join us. So share, copy link, go. I put a post on, in fact, it was my post for this live. When I posted for this live, I posted the link, but I also said, incidentally, would anyone ever fancy coming on and joining me on a sit and sling? You would be able to bring the spread, only if you wanted to, but Yeah, if you want to, you're more than welcome to bring the spread. I've got the spread that I've got for you today, by the way. I'm pretty proud of it. I made it up myself, and I'm really quite pleased with it. But I don't want to spoil the surprise. What was I saying? You will, yeah. If you come on with me, it'll be the same format as what I usually do. We'll have a bit of a chat to catch up with the people in the chat. I'll catch up with whoever's on live with me. They can, depending on who it is, it might be someone who wants to tell us a bit about themselves. It might be someone that we know very well, and they might just want to tell us about what they've got going on. Who knows? But we'll have a chat, and then we'll sling some cards. Now, as I say, you can bring the spread. It'll be your choice whether we do what we normally do and pull for ourselves, and just talk about the cards that we pull, and do the same with the people in the chat. Or what we could also do is me and my guest can pull for each other, which if you've seen when I was live with the very lovely Marion, you would have seen us do that, and it was really good fun, and actually worked really, really well. So that's something that we could do as well. So the options are endless. So yeah, thank you so much to the people that have already commented, and I've actually got a few people slotted in already. So next week, I'm going to be joined by the lovely Gerald from Tarot Stash. The following week, I'm actually not going to be live because I have a work event on the Thursday, and I'm probably going to be out getting a little bit drunk at this time, 2 weeks in 2 weeks' time. So I'm not going to be live with you. But the week after that, I believe that Kristen Louise will be joining me. So yeah, that's the plan so far. Thank you to Gerald and Kristen, and thank you very much to all the lovely people that have responded. So yeah, anyway, that was the chat on that. Marion's living the dream, excellent. Golden's drinking Adam's ale, very nice. Let's see. Oh, Chris is having water martinis. Just woke up. So does that mean just water? Roscoe's here. Bonsoir, mes amis. Hope you're all well. We're very well, Roscoe. How are you? Chris says that's exciting. Golden likes my snake ring. Oh, thank you. This one. Had that for. Simon said as well. Nice ring. Is it this one you're talking about? Because I've had that for a long time. I'm sure I got that for Christmas. And I always wear it. I always wear it on the same hand. Maybe I'm just not often gesticulating with this hand. I don't know. Sandra's here. Hi, Sandra. How are you? Let's see. Enjoy your celebrating. I will do. Do you want me to come on after London? After London, the UK Tarot Conference, London. So that's in October. And yeah, I would love that. I mean, I'd love you to come on whenever you want to come on, Marion. But yeah, definitely. Let me know any Thursday, any kind of a Thursday that suits you at this time. Just let me know, and I'll stick it in the calendar so that I remember. Marita's drinking water. moringa herbal tea. Is that how you say that? I feel silly. Smoke passes by the water. Bong. Oh, okay. Thanks. Never noticed it before. Ah. Gesticulation. Yeah, gesticulate. Maybe I just don't often gesticulate with my hands. You've seen my wedding and engagement rings before, yeah? It's funny because you usually see my hands like when I'm table camming. Anyway, yeah, Sandra, I'm good. I'm very good, thank you. Right, how do we... Oh, yeah, so... You know how I've got this thing where I just don't like to use extra cards? I just always hate using extra cards. Any tarot deck, like Oracle deck's fine, because, I mean, there's no rules with an Oracle deck, but a tarot deck, generally, I will always stick to 7 to 8, and if you're adding an extra card, I'll take them out, or I'll replace them. You know, I like my tarot deck to be my tarot deck. You'll know this because I've talked about this quite a lot before. However, I found a deck, and I'm experimenting with using 4 of the extra cards in it. The deck is this, the Steel Wizard Tarot. Now, this is an 88 card deck. I'm not using all of the extra cards, only 4 of them. So the cards are all shuffled up, so I can't give you like a nice like ordered walkthrough. But I can, and I'm going to keep an eye on Instagram. I think Instagram's fine because this is probably shite to watch on Instagram, to be fair, because it's landscape oriented. It's not stretching to fill the full thing. Anyway, yeah, because they're not in order, because I've been using this deck, it's all shuffled up. So yeah, there's that. But to explain a bit about the deck, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 extra major arcana cards. So we've got, that's actually quite nicely zoomed. Let me just pop on the light. There we go. So it goes the normal major arcana, and then we've got 22, the Weaver. These are the backs. The Universe, which, do you know, I actually love the art on this card, and see if they weren't numbered, I would exchange this out for the World. I would take the World out and I would put this in its place, because the Universe, the World card is sometimes called the Universe, but I cannot have 0 to 20 and then 23. That will do my head in. So unfortunately, it's got to stay out. We've got the Truth card. Very nice. But, you know, like where this to me is doing the same thing as the World card, this is doing the same thing as probably a lot of the Swords cards, the Justice card. Yeah. Soul Twins. Very Lovers, I would have thought. Evolution, Judgment, and 27, I Am. No, thank you. I'm using these cards in a tarot spread where I've got to be able to extract meaning from them. And whilst, you know, I could do that from these, I mean, what if that comes up in the position of like the outcome, or like the kind of a do this, or the hopes and fears, or whatever the hell, what I don't know what I would use that with, what that would mean. So anyway, the extra majors are staying out. The extra cards that I'm keeping in, so this deck has 5 court cards. It has a page, a maiden, a knight, a queen, and a king. So essentially, she's added it in because she and Pamela Steele's view and the creator's view, so the page was like the young man, the knight, but I don't know. The queen is like the kind of an older woman, and the king was the older man. She says there's no card for like a younger woman, and that's why she included the maiden. Now, I don't read the cards strict gendered that way, and if I was going to read them as strict gendered, I would then have to think, right, okay, well, I'm not just the people that I read for aren't just like man, woman. Do you know what I mean? I read for queer people, non-binary people, genderqueer people. So I would need to start thinking, right, okay, well, where are they in this? So anyway, I don't have that idea of like that strict idea of gender that I assign to the court cards. To me, a man can be a queen, a woman can be a king, etc., etc. So I'm not keeping them in because I want there to be a young woman card. I'm keeping them in because the pages for me, I read them as like the initiates, the new starts, the learners, the young, kind of like they're young and full of enthusiasm, they're adventurers, that type of thing. But also the pages, and where page comes from, the page was the messenger. Now, I've seen a lot lately where people read the knights as the messengers of the tarot, but to me, that's no. Page is the messenger. That's what a page boy was it not? So the pages are like messengers. They're bringing messengers. They're bringing information. So I can almost like kind of in this deck, I can read the page as the messenger, and I can read the maiden as what I would normally kind of associate the page. That kind of enthusiasm, that venturer type kind of an archetype. And then the Night Queen King just do their usual job. So anyway, that's what I've been doing with this, and seems to be working okay. But yeah, I think it's probably the first time that I've ever read a tarot deck with extra cards in it. Like I say, usually I can't abide it. But anyway, yeah, this is the Steel Wizard Tarot by Pamela Steele. It's a really beautifully illustrated deck. Show you some of the images whilst I'm catching up on the chat. What's your thoughts? I think I'm an odd one out when it comes to my whole not really liking extra cards in the deck thing. I know lots of yous quite like having them in. Let me see. Hopefully my life will be a tad more chill by then, says Marion. So that's by after Thingamajigger, London. Young lady, you remember I've offered to help you with certain busy things that you've got on right now. So mind and let me know if you need any help. Time Warp says Golden. I don't know what that was for. I've missed the reference. Donna says I really don't like extra cards in a tarot deck either. Okay, so it's not just me. I do love an extra card or two, says Golden. Jen's here. Hi Jen, how you doing? Oh, my coffee's here. Thank you. Let's see. Not even had a chance to look at my copy, says Marion. Is this a copy of the Steel Wizard? Yeah. Yes, Simon, no thank you. I don't need a card that says I am. And do you know the thing that pops into my head now? I've got a card saying I am. Where's the card that says I am not? Do you know what I mean? Like all things being equal and opposite. Chakra Monster, says Chris. Ego. What deck is this, please? This is the Steel Wizards Tarot by Pamela Steele. Sorry, I'm zoomed in on the cards just now. So, Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Golden. Simon says, I ain't going through my tabs to dig this out, so I'm going to half look in case it sets me off. Lordy Lord, I feel you, says Golden. I really like the art. Not seen it before, says Golden. How did I get this deck? I got it at Tabby. Why? Should I not have? The courts can definitely be different genders from the standard. Gail Weathers, Courtney Cox from Scream is my King of Swords. Yeah. The deck I got today has Paige as Servant. Okay. Oh, she's a nice High Priestess card. I like the is that a unicorn in the background? Ferdiad. Hi Ferdiad, how you doing? Just a flying visit. Back to work super early tomorrow. Oh, that's a shame. But no worries. I hope you have a good day at work tomorrow. Looks a bit strange. I like extra cards, says Jen. Talking of extra cards, do you think you'll get Alcento? I might, Simon. I was tempted to get it when you had oh god, what was his first name? I remember. I think his last name was Oje, but I don't remember the. Oh, that's terrible. Let me know pop his first name in the chat if you remember it. But when the creator was on, I was tempted to get it. The thing is, and again, this is in the same vein as what I'm talking about just now. If I got it, I probably would take the extra cards out. So it might be a wee bit wasted on me, but I suppose not totally because it's still a tarot deck and I would still use it as a tarot deck and it's still a really nice deck. Michael J. OJ. I thought it was Michael, but are you still enjoying reading with it, Simon? Roscoe, love extra cards. They're like bonus content. Sasha says the Minkiatis, is that what they're called, having a huge number of cards? I haven't tried reading that deck yet. Have you, Chris, or anyone else done that? Oh, hi to the folks that are joining on Instagram, by the way. It's nice to see you. Marion says, I'm with you on extra cards. My only exception is the Chiro deck that has the 4 elemental palaces, the Tarot of Dreams. Yeah, I can't because I don't have the palaces in because that's how I read the queens. To me, the queens are the queen creates the environment that allows the page to progress to the knight and the knight to progress to the king. The queen is the teacher, the nurturer. She represents that environment. I suppose similar to how I've split the page out to be the page and the maiden, the messenger and the initiate. I suppose do the same thing with the queen in the palace. But yeah, that's kind of why I've never included them before. Interesting seeing the dragon on the tower. I had decided to use my Celtic dragon today. You can always write not in the I am card. Well, this is true. Let's see. Oh, link to the deck that I'm showing. Thank you, Marita. The art's nice on this. It is, Sandra, yeah. Chris, I'm going to have to get another job to keep buying decks. I love the colours. Yeah. You've got quite a modest deck collection, haven't you, Chris? I think you should try and keep that way as long as you can. Oh, the joys of inset days. Love a good Minchiati. Am I right in thinking, does Minchiati mean bullshit? Like, is that essentially what it means? I think Justin might have told me that. Minchiati was a game which was invented in Florence in the 1540s and evolved alongside Tarot. The 97 card Minchiati deck differs from the standard Tarot as alongside the core triumph cards of the 4 virtues, hope, faith, charity and prudence, the 4 elements and the 12 astrological signs. Fair enough. The I am card reversed. Yeah, fair enough. 9 of each so far. Can't help myself. My weirdest deck is Diva Tarot with Triax as the 5th suit. Spirit or ether element. Oh. So does it have a major arcana and then it has a 5th spirit? Well, I suppose Triax. Like suit. So that's interesting. Thanks, Marita. I find it unsettlingly big. Yes, it means something like bullshit. It means nonsense, I think, says Simon. According to Google Translate, Minchiati does indeed mean bullshit. Yeah, no, I got you. Simon, you're fine. Yeah, so I've ended up going through more than half the deck. But yeah, so that's the Steel Wizard Tarot. Well, I'll just keep going actually. Lovers, some butts. Not sure if I really show that anymore on YouTube, but hey ho, there we go. I just did. The Hermit, Strength. I need a keyboard or it all goes wrong, says Ferdinand. So there's the Maiden, and then you saw the Page a few cards back, I think. Yeah, there is that. She's got the Page and the Maiden. Simon says, my iPad is so old now, Ferdiad, it has a mind of its own and its own language, it would seem. I'm going to have to be on a no-buy for a while, says Ferdiad. I might have gotten a bit spendy to chase away the back-to-school blues. Yeah, you're a maths teacher, aren't you, Ferdiad? I'm starting back tutoring next week, so I am. So I've got 3 students so far. So yeah, that's going to be busy. I know that, so at the start of this year, for the first half of this year, I wasn't doing any lives just because I had so much on with tutoring. I'm going to try and still be here on my Thursday lives. just because I don't want to disappear again. Do you know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see how we go. Death has become transition. I really like the butterfly wings though. And the Nine of Swords. Oh, grey. Sasha says, Simon, I went to the Nine Ladies Stones this morning. What a calm place. Very nice. So yeah, that's the Steel Wizard Tarot by Pamela Steele. And I'm going to put that back in there. So that's one thing I've been doing this week. The other thing I've been working with again, I'm not sure if anyone's here that was doing the study group with me a few years back. Malamir, if you're still watching on the Insta, I know you were there every month. The Mary L. Funnily enough, I started. I know that we were talking about it when I watched your premiere, Simon, where you'd rearranged your shelves. We were talking about the Mary L. But I had already started working with this again. It was just quite funny that I was using it and then you happened to mention it on your video. But this is I love this deck. I did for, gosh, it must have been a good 2 or 3 years it was spread over, but once a month I did we did the Mary L study group. So we did a Zoom once a month, and then like the following Thursday after the Zoom. So we did the Zoom on the Sunday where we would come together. We would look at 3 or 4 cards, usually 4 cards per month. And then we would look at the cards and then we would do some readings. Kind of using that card as so I'll show you what I mean actually. So say for example, we were doing the 7 of Wands, right? Then you would shuffle the deck and you would find the 7 of Wands and the 2 cards on either side of it to give you your 3-card reading. So in this case, we've got the 4 of Earth or 4 of Discs, the 7 of Wands, and the 10 of Discs. Okay. And you would kind of read that, depending on what your question was. You would read that. So yeah, that was the Mary L study group. So we do that on the Zoom, and then we would do it again on YouTube the following, Thursday. I've got a playlist on my channel. You can check it out. The nice thing is that I've ended up with a whole bunch of slides and information that I put together on all of the cards. So essentially I've made my own equivalent of a guidebook for the Mary L Tarot, just because I was, putting those slides together for each of the cards. But yeah, like I say, stunning deck. It's one that I love working with. It's probably the deck that I find works the deepest. It's also the deck that, so I pulled cards with this deck around about the time my dad passed away. And I mean, if you're going to do predictions and talk predictions, then, essentially anyway, yeah, it's a hard-hitting and deep deck, put it that way. But this is this is the first edition of the Mary L that you're seeing here that came with black borders. So I've trimmed it down to just the images, and edged it in black. You can see it's well used though, because the agents all coming away. But yeah, just catch up the chat. I'll stick these here and just flip through them in the same way that I was doing before. I'm sorry, Saoirse. I've just realised I've been doing that with your comment on the screen, but at least it was easy. It made it easy for me to find where I was in the comments. Ferdiad says, I did get a couple of nice things from Cheryl. What did you get, Ferdiad? Lovely, isn't it? I love how you come through the woods and then it just appears, Saoirse. Oh, the place that she visited. Lovely death card. Was that transition from the Steel Wizard? This is the Queen of Cups. I love this card. I love how like her face is like very symmetrical. I came to your channel with the Marielle, as in you were using it to explain. You blow hot and cold with it. Nice trim job. It's actually, I'm not that happy with it, to be honest. It's a bit, I did it with scissors, like back before I had the, no, actually, that might be a lie. I think I might have done it with a guillotine, but it was one of the ones that slides up and down rather than, do you know what I mean? Like it has the blade that you slide across. So this isn't one of the nicest trim jobs. And I don't know, I'm kind of disappointed with it. I still love the deck, but I wish I had trimmed it a bit neater. But I'm glad you can't tell. Yeah, Simon's got 4 versions. I can never get on with the Marielle, so I sold mine twice, says Sandra. Oh, was it first editions that you had, or was it a first and a second, or 2 second editions, Sandra? Flipping through my Marielle with you, Chris, says Donna. I haven't used it in months. Again, have you got a first edition or a second edition, Donna? That's when you know. That'd be awesome to buy a study book of the Marielle. To be honest, I'm not. It's not. You don't need to buy it. I can send you the. I don't have it. It's not a book. That's the thing. It's not a book. I don't have it as a book. I have it as like slides, PowerPoint slides. And no, I actually think I've got it saved as a PDF that I can send. But I'll send you it. Like it's yeah, this is Marie White's deck. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to make money off it. Always wanted this deck, says Golden. Sometimes I love the deck, and sometimes I absolutely hate it, says Trisha. I was a modifier back then, so paid to have mine trimmed at the printers. Yeah, see that. I wish I think you mean I wasn't a modifier back then. I wish I had done that, Simon. I wish I'd got mine professionally trimmed and it was all like perfect. But you're making me want to spend more money, says Ferdiad. Yeah, this is stunning. The only thing to note is that if you get the second edition, it will look a wee bit different to this. I think 4 of the cards are different. 3 of the majors and the 3 of swords. So the High Priestess, the Hierophant, Judgment, and the 3 of swords are different. In fact, was that Judgment that was... Yeah, so that's the Judgment in the first edition. It'll be a different card that you get in the second edition. And also, the second edition does come already borderless, but it's got the titles printed, and I'm sure it's in like Times New Roman or something. It is not the nicest font in the world. I'm going to pre-warn you. But if you can see past that, then I mean, it's the trimmed version that I've used the most because it is a mass market, and I know I can get another one. It wasn't. I'm giving up. Yeah, I thought so. All guillotines are hard to use. Yeah, I'm fine with the ones that slide up and down. I've got one down there, but see if I pull it out, I'm going to pull out half the shelf. And a first and a second edition. Damn, Sandra, I would have bought that first edition off you. I loved those Soul Oracle cards you had, Chris. The Soul cards. Do you mean these? Soul cards 1 and 2. They are stunning. And I use them when I'm reading for people at markets. Speaking of which, I've got 2 markets this weekend. So if anyone's watching who's local, then, oh, hi, Dan. Dan Mumnan, Jones, and anyone else who's watching on Insta. If anyone's local, I'm reading Glasgow Royal Concert Hall on Saturday, and I'm reading at East Kilbride, Holiday Inn in East Kilbride on Sunday from 10 till 4 both days. So if you're about and you're local and you want to come and either just come and say hi, it's markets that I'm reading at. It's like kind of a so it's Glasgow Spiritual and Holistic Fair on Saturday, and it is Magical Mystical Market, which is a kind of a mystic, kind of a witchy fair type thing on Sunday. So there'll be loads of readers, treatment providers, and vendors where you'll be able to buy stuff. But if you want to come along and come and say hi, then that would be great. I love this Justice card, with the feather. Stunning. Have both editions of the Marielle. Prefer the second, actually. The size and cardstock is better for me. The cardstock is different, yeah. It's, lots of people prefer the second edition cardstock because it's matte, whereas this is that kind of a glossy, sticky, same as the Tarot of the She, if anyone's got that old Schiffer cardstock. But to be honest, this doesn't bother me. I can still riffle shuffle with it, and it's fine. This is the death card in this deck. Is it Atreus or one of the 3 fates, the one that cuts the thread? Not Atreus, no. What's her name? Someone will know. Would love a PDF of your slides. See if you email me, Jen. See if you send me an email, elementalcartomancy@gmail.com. I'll email you back with the slides. This is the World card. This is the High Priestess card in this edition, so this is not the High Priestess card that you get in the second edition. The second edition one is looks more like a traditional High Priestess. The 2 pillars, the kind of a blue dress, the kind of a Mary type imagery. Whereas this one is obviously like a kind of a guardian of the deep, which is what the High Priestess is as well. She guards the unconscious, the scary bit, the scary places. But yeah. Jen says I bought mine modded. Nice. And was that a decent job, Jen? I prefer beating up cards, says Saoirse. It's one I keep meaning to get. I'm currently chilling building postal boxes, says Marion. Very nice. One of the best death cards, yeah. Oh, Jones is lurking. Very nice. It's nice to see you too. I saw you had popped in on Insta. Hope you're doing okay, Jones. This is the Hierophant in this deck. So that again, this is another card that's different now. I suppose you can kind of see why she might have changed it. This was quite a disturbing image for a lot of people. So yeah, that's kind of a change slightly in the second edition. So late these days. Evening all, says Elspeth. It's lovely to see you. How you doing? I better drink this coffee. If I don't drink it, then I'm going to get any big trubs. Joan says, I've modded my first one, but I can't tell which card is which. See if you use it enough, Jones, you'll get to know the deck really well. As you can see, mine. So I modded mine, and I initially had the titles written on it, but I ended up taking a baby wipe to them because I didn't like the handwritten titles. I did that thing where you use a pen, and when you start using the pen, it's nice enough. Like a kind of a metallic silver type pen, Sharpie kind of a pen, and it was fine when I started, but then of course the pen nib gets kind of a like worn in, and it ended up just dead thick, and it was horrible. So I took a baby wipe to the entire deck and wiped off the titles, and I actually cleaned them off really, really well. Baby wipes are amazing for that, by the way. Beautiful Queen of Discs. Knight of Cups. Two of Cups. I sometimes toy with the idea of like almost doing the Marielle study group over again. Do you know? It was a lot of work the first time round, but that was because I was putting the slide letter. I put a lot of work into these slides. Like I use the information in the book. The book's very, very deep, but it can sometimes be quite difficult to understand or to pick up on, what it is that it's getting at. Whereas I put it into a format where you've got the image, and then I've got like kind of it's basically like pointing to all the different symbols and stuff. Oh shit. Well, I thought I'd lost you there because I accidentally pressed a button on the keyboard. I'm going to move this keyboard away. And all it did was open up a new tab, but yeah. So yeah, because I was putting the slides together before each session, it was a lot of work, but obviously I've still got the slides, and it wouldn't be as much work now because, well, they're there, and maybe I would do a wee bit of refining, but yeah, toy with the idea of doing it again, but I just don't know whether people would want to do it again. I wouldn't want to do all that if people would rather just look back at the playlist, the videos that are already there. But yeah, it's definitely a good way to really get to know a deck, is agreeing to facilitate a study group on it, put it that way. I had it, the bottom name still, the mod. So do you mean you'd cut it? It shows that it still had the titles at the bottom. That's what I did initially. So when I initially cut, trimmed that deck, I only did the three sides and I kept the title at the bottom. But then I wasn't really liking that, to be honest. So I decided just to take it down to just the images. Yeah, Elspeth, we haven't started the spread yet, so don't worry. Simon's asking Elspeth if she's created a deck. This says for a star. Only in my head, Simon. Leaving this card on display, you'll get a strike. Oh, I don't know what card it was that was on display. Oh well, we'll just need to see what happens there. Change it back to just me. Just going to lift this down a bit. It's annoying me that I'm like way down here. Marilyn sent me a screenshot earlier of a deck created by someone just called Elspeth, and she asked if I knew if it was you. Jones is good. I may have taken 6 months or even a year off serious tarrowing. That's fair enough. I think we've all got to, we all need some time off every now and then. Absurdo Tarot, says Simon. When would you do it? The study group? I don't know. Like I say, when I did it before, it was a Sunday, kind of an afternoon, my time. Was it the afternoon? I forget. I think it might have been 4 p.m. my time, so that would have been like 11 p.m. Eastern, kind of at Eastern time in the US, and whatever that is, wherever you are, on the Sunday. And then the following Thursday, I did it live on YouTube. Now, there probably wouldn't be much point in me doing it live on YouTube again, just because I've already got the playlist with all the lives there that people can watch back. But yeah, it was on a Sunday. And yeah, so if I was going to do it again, then I might do the same thing, something similar. Why not choose another deck and then charge a nominal fee to take part? I suppose that's an option too. When I started the Marielle one, I wasn't really interested in making money from doing it. And it was more, the idea wasn't so much for, it's not really classes, it's me facilitating a study group. So the idea was we're all coming together and bringing the knowledge and our ideas and stuff, and that was how it ran. So that was why I did it before. Yeah, I don't know if there's another deck that I would want to. The Marielle, part of the reason of wanting to do a Marielle study group was because for me the Marielle, it's not just your kind of a like standard Rider-Waite-Smith style deck. It feels very elemental and goes off in a different direction and does things quite differently, I felt. And I thought it would be good to, have a good result, because like for the Rider-Waite-Smith, you've got umpteen books out there that go right into the Rider-Waite-Smith and the symbolism and how to read it. Same with the Thoth, maybe not as many books, but quite a lot. And to be honest, with the Marseille decks as well. But for the Marielle, we really just had the guidebook, and like I say, there were some bits of it I found a bit harder to understand than others. And that was, I wanted to create a resource where that would make it more approachable, I guess. So I don't know if there's another deck that I would want to do that with, because obviously I would want to feel really like have a real connection to the deck. Anyway, I don't know if I'm making sense. I feel like I'm talking around in circles. I bought it modded already, says Jen. It's just okay. I prefer to take it to a professional printer to take everything off. See, I wouldn't even have known that is something that you could do. Big one, says Chris. What a handsome guy on the screen, says Jen. Is that me, Jen, or are you talking about one of the guys on the cards? Seems like you've got a good start on membership content. So you mean like YouTube membership? I don't think I'm eligible to do membership stuff. I think you need to have like a certain number of like watches and a certain, I can't remember. You need a certain number of subscribers and a certain number of people watching your content at one time to be able to do that, I think. So I'm not sure if that's something that's open to me. Nominal fees a good idea for a study group. Yeah, I mean, how about a study group for the Shining Tribe? There is, there is one. It's called the Shining Tribe Exploratorium. There's actually one on this Sunday, and I co-facilitate it actually. So see if you check it out. Is if you search Shining Tribe Exploratorium, find us on Substack, and you'll find all the details there. Funnily enough, there is a nominal fee for it. And yeah, I kind of co-facilitate that with Carolyn Cushion and Shari. So yeah, there is one, and you're anyone's totally welcome to join. By the way, I'm actually chairing this Sunday's meeting, so I'm going to talk a wee bit about one of the spreads that Rachel does in A Walk Through the Forest of Souls. So yeah, it's funny you say that, and after me talking about all that and saying, no, I don't know if I'd want to do another deck, I already am. But yeah, Marielle is hard without really knowing it. Yeah, I know. It's like any other deck, though. I feel like you can kind of for a lot of it, you can look at the images on the cards, and you can get a lot from the images. I think the images are really powerful in the Marielle deck. I watched her create that deck, and it's very personal, says Jones. What about the one with the Queen of Wands that has two versions? You mean Scylla Conway's Shimmering Veil? I suppose, yeah. I'd say it's kind of Rider-Waite-Smith, but I suppose it does veer off in its own direction in some bits. You, Chris, are the handsome man. Thank you very much, Jen. My modded Marielle has all different size cards. Oddly, it's not annoying to you. Oh, that's good. Hi, Diane and the Dewar's Apprentice on Instagram, by the way. Didn't know about it. I'll post a link, no bother. But yeah, if you just search it, you'll find the Substack. So Shining Tribe Exploratorium. There we are. So you can actually see some of the stuff that we post just by subscribing as a free member. You can be a paid member, and that gets you access to the full posts and to the monthly get-togethers. So I've posted that in the chat, so feel free to have a wee look. Look at me being psychic, says Marion. I know. And me being astoundingly not. It bodes well for this weekend, doesn't it? Good night, beautiful people. I hope your cards are honest, kind, and helpful tonight, says Ferdiad. I hope that you have a good sleep, Ferdiad, and have a good day tomorrow. Yeah, Shimmering Veil. Did I have anything else to chat to you about? No, I think it's time for the spread anyway, isn't it? That's just hit 10 o'clock on my screen. So the spread that I've got for you. So I was looking at like kind of a what is today. Like I was looking, is there any significant like astrological or metaphysical stuff going on? And there was some stuff, but today is also Jennifer Coolidge's birthday. Jennifer Coolidge. So Jennifer Coolidge played Stifler's mum in American Pie. I'd imagine you all know who she is, but that's who she is. I think she's hilarious. and such an amazing character. Like, in anything she plays such an amazing character in any films that she's in. So I have I've put together, I've created a Jennifer Coolidge tarot spread, or rather a tarot spread based on two of my favourite Jennifer Coolidge characters. And they are Paulette from Legally Blonde and Stifler's mum from American Pie. So the concept of this spread is, I'm calling it the Paulette to Stifler's mum spread. So Paulette is kind of like, she's, not that confident. She doesn't have a lot of confidence in herself. And then Stifler's mum obviously exudes confidence and sex appeal and stuff like that. So we're going to take ourselves from being our inner Paulette, and we're going to make that an inner Stifler's mum. Thoughts, comments, what do you think? Does that sound good? It's only a 4-card spread, so it won't take us all night or anything like that. But it's enough to get us some decent cards pulled. So who's pulling with me? What deck are you using? What deck was I going to use? I was going to use the Bonfire Tarot. What can I find? There's my version, my first edition Bonfire. Do I want to use that? Or where's my second edition? Fair enough. Well, that's going to be an issue. I don't know where my second edition is. It will be here somewhere. I'm just not seeing it. Oh, there it is. I'll use my second edition of the Bonfire Tarot for this spread. Sorry, what date and time do you meet for Shine Tribe on Substack? Don't have a subscription, so need to ponder whether I'd use it enough to join. We meet, so it's we usually do it on Zoom. It depends who it is that's hosting that month. I always do mine on Zoom. Can't remember if Shari and Carolyn what they do, but whoever it is that's hosting will host on something that everyone can get on. We do it on the last Sunday of the month usually. There's only been one time when we kind of have moved it forward to the following month. So yeah, last Sunday of the month, and it's at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time or 5:30 p.m. in my time in the UK. So once a month, last Sunday of the month, 5:30 p.m. UK time. But we normally go by Eastern time, so in those funny times when we're only 4 hours apart, then it would be 4:30 p.m. Do you know what I mean? So that's just something to bear in mind if you're in the UK and you are going to join, because I think right now I might be the only UK person that attends, and I always need to kind of try and remember that. Oh my god, Bend and Snap. I'm laughing like a child. Funnily enough, Bend and Snap makes an appearance in this spread, but we need to wait for that. Thanks. I see this now. We'll give it a go. Cool. Going to use tarot disassembled by Wiser, says Jones. Excellent. Sorcerer's using the Spanish tarot. Jen is going to use Tarot of the Abyss. Let me find something that's shuffled. Brilliant. Marita, are you going to pull with us? There is a free option, but you won't be able to join the monthly gatherings using the free option. There's a free option to subscribe, and you'll be able to see some of the posts and stuff. But for the gathering, you need to do the paid option. But the paid option is very reasonable, I think, anyway. So, yeah, have a look at it anyway and see what you think. And that goes for everyone, by the way. We welcome new faces. And it's Rachel Pollock's Shining Tribe Tarot that we're exploring and studying in this group, by the way, if I hadn't already said that. It's an absolutely fantastic deck. And it's a great deck for studying because it's, it's Rachel. Thanks for all the info. We'll check out all your episodes. So that's on the Marielle. Golden's just what? Oh, I'm sorry to hear you've got a migraine, Golden. Hope you feel better soon. Jen is shuffling, using the Celtic Dragon for my spread, says Marita. Excellent. Okay. I love this deck, by the way. See, sometimes if I'm maybe not shuffling to pull cards, if I'm just shuffling because I feel like shuffling, I'll shuffle with the cards face up. I know that Simon, I don't know if you're still here, but this is how Simon always shuffles. He always shuffles with the cards face up like this. But normally if I'm shuffling to pull cards, I'll shuffle face down. But if I just want to kind of appreciate the images, then sometimes I'll just do that. And this is a beautiful deck to do that with. Oops. But anyway, we're shuffling to pull cards here, so. The Three of Cups flew at my deck there. That bodes well, because this is like a nice get together. Okay. So the idea here is cards are going to help us identify our inner Paulette. So this is something about part of us that's maybe lacks in confidence. An area of life perhaps where we could use being a wee bit more confident. So that's the first spread position. The first position is your inner Paulette. So you're pulling a card to represent your inner Paulette. So my first card is the Lovers. Jeez, oh, I right. Thanks very much. Let me just zoom this slightly. And I will pop this into the chat. So I'll say again, Paulette is Jennifer Coolidge's character in Legally Blonde. She's very shy, very reserved, doesn't have much confidence in herself, and she kind of needs to get help with, when there's a guy that comes into the nail bar that she really likes, she needs a bit of help just gathering up the courage to tell him that she likes him. So the first card is going to represent your inner Paulette. It's going to represent like a kind of a part of you or an area of your life where you maybe don't feel so confident and could use a wee bit of help. So for me, it's the Lovers. I don't read the Lovers as being necessarily about like kind of to me, it's not literal. It's not what it says in the tin. The Lovers for me represents the part in the Fool's journey where he's torn between going in one direction, which is, what's expected of him, where his responsibilities lie, or going in the other direction, which is like this, sexy lady that he's just come up against, that he's all of a sudden he's got these kind of these hormones running through him and he's getting these feelings. So it represents an area, it represents when you're kind of torn between doing what's expected of you and doing what you want to do. Quite often the Lovers comes up to talk about things like self-care. It will come up for people who struggle to put themselves first, So that could be maybe where I'm struggling a wee bit. It might just generally mean that, in areas of choice, I'm maybe not the quickest to decide things. I maybe find it hard to commit to things because it then means that I can't, to commit to one thing means to put the other thing to one side sometimes. So that can be quite a difficult thing to do. Sorry, let me just move your message off the screen, Marita. So yeah, your inner Paulette, and sorry, I'll put that into the Instagram chat for anyone who is chatting along on Insta. Although for some reason my chats aren't going through on Instagram from what I can see, which is annoying. So I've got the Lovers. What have you folks got? So the Six of Swords for Marita. Okay, so maybe you need a wee bit of help getting yourself out of a difficult situation. Maybe there's a particular area in life where you find yourself stuck in those choppy waters, and maybe you need that wee bit of confidence to know that it's okay to kind of remove yourself from a situation and find a safe space for yourself. It can also be about the Six of Swords is kind of like the seeking help card. It's the going to therapy card. It's the so if the sixes represent the kind of a rebalancing, reharmonizing after the period of difficulty that the five brings, and the swords is the mental suit, then it can just generally be talking about reharmonizing things mentally, psychologically. Let's see, why not I do it on here on that way? Jen says, I don't have an inner Paulette, but has also pulled the Hermit. Saoirse's got the Page of Batons. So that suggests to me, Saoirse, that you've got lots and lots of really good ideas, but you maybe just lack confidence in your own ideas. Maybe you have these kind of great ideas, but then you kind of think, oh, no, nobody will listen to that. So you're the kind of a person that's sitting amongst loads of scrunched up bits of paper because it represents an idea that you've kind of started, and then you've thought, oh, that's absolute rubbish. Nobody's going to like that. I'm not doing anything with that. And maybe you just need a bit of confidence to kind of to stick with that and to build that idea into something. Who knows? Chris has got the Knight of Swords. So maybe for you, Chris, it's about speaking your mind, it's about speaking your truth. You may need a wee bit of help having the confidence to say what it is that's on your mind, say what you're thinking. And the Queen of Swords for Joan, so maybe something similar for you. Although the Queen of Swords for me is like the teacher card. Queen of Swords represents lots of people who are teachers. So maybe you're being called on to be a mentor or a teacher or a coach or a tutor or something like that. You're being called on to provide help to someone in some way. But maybe you're questioning yourself and you're not sure if you're ready. Marita says yes, quite. For the Six of Swords, right? Card number 2. So card number 2 is going to represent Elle Woods. So Elle Woods being the main character in Legally Blonde, and it's Elle that helps Paulette, that helps her gain confidence. So card number 2 is going to represent an ally, is something or someone that's going to help you to boost your confidence a bit. Okay. Oh, I've got a person card. I've got the King of Wands. King of Wands. So for me, the person who's going to help me gain confidence is very charismatic. They probably exude the confidence, and I think with the Wands courts, they, a lot of the time, especially with like kind of your kings, the kings have the wisdom they can toe the line between, they can put themselves first, but they can do it in a way that doesn't come across as selfish or arrogant. Do you know that way? Because that can be quite a difficult thing to do. Sometimes when people put themselves first, it can come across as being, oh, it's all about me, me, me. Do you know what I mean? But I think the kings have the wisdom to know, they have the wisdom and they have the boundaries to know how to put themselves first, but how to not be an arsehole about it. Does that make sense? So this is someone who's going to exude that and who's going to have that charisma. The charisma associated with the Wands as well. So yeah, that would suggest to me that there is someone around about me who can help me, help me with this. Okay, Queen of Wands. Excellent. So we've got the Queen of Wands for you. So again, I'm going to suggest then, Jen, that you probably have someone around about you. So if the Hermit is your Paulette, that maybe suggests that you maybe are a bit introverted and you maybe are quite comfortable in your own company, and maybe you just are quite shy in general. I don't know you that well. Maybe that's absolute rubbish and you're the least shy person in the world, but the Hermit to me might suggest that. The Queen of Wands is someone who exudes confidence, who, when they walk into a room, all eyes turn to them. Everyone wants to hear what the Queen of Wands has to say. It's like they're the version that you want to bring out, So your Elle Woods, your ally, your person who's going to help you, you need to find yourself someone who is the version of you that you want to be. Do you know what I mean? Someone that you're aiming for. It's almost like find a mentor type thing. If you want to be something, or if you want to be able to do something, find someone that you know that you think does that really well, and that's going to be your ally. The Three of Swords for Saoirse. Now, Saoirse, what was your first card? The Page of Batons. Okay, so the ideas thing. The Three of Swords. Right. Your ally, the Three of Swords. So something that's going to help you is just doing it. It's not about, you need to appreciate that when these ideas are in the early stages, they are going to be a bit shit. Do you know what I mean? No idea when it first comes out is a fully formed, thing of genius. These things need to be worked on. They need to be built up over time. And I think it's just about accepting that, okay, it's starting off maybe a bit shit, but I'm going to work at it. I'm going to build it into something, So it's about being comfortable with things not being perfect, also the Three of Swords can be about, the Three of Swords can represent like tough love, tough truths. So maybe you need to find yourself someone who's going to tell you the brutal, blatant truth, who's just going to be honest with you and isn't going to sugarcoat things. The Devil for Chris. Oh gosh. So you had the Knight of Swords. You need help telling speaking your truth. I suppose that's a wee bit like Saoirse. The Devil is almost I can sometimes find it difficult to be 100%, sometimes I've got too much of a filter, and then sometimes I don't really have much of a filter at all. And I think that depends on who's winning, whether it's the angel on my shoulder or the devil on my shoulder, Sometimes the angel's taking over and I can have too much of a filter and I can struggle to say what it is that I want to say. And then sometimes the devil takes over and I maybe say things without thinking. And what that seems to suggest to me is like maybe the devil needs to take over a wee bit. Maybe you just need to kind of say things that I'm not saying like just don't give a shit about people and don't have any regard for anyone's feelings or anything like that. But sometimes when you're caring too much what people think, sometimes you need to kind of let the pendulum swing the other way a wee bit. Sometimes you need to kind of let yourself be a wee bit brutally honest so that you can then find that happy medium in the middle. So sometimes you need to kind of almost let your inner arsehole out in order to find that balance in the middle. Do you know what I mean? So do the queens seem arrogant? I mean, sure, they could. Yeah, the Queen of Wands totally could come across as arrogant. It depends on how balanced she is and how, like, if she's out of balance and if she's in shadow, then absolutely, the Queen of Wands can come across like an absolute self-serving, arrogant bitch. Do you know what I mean? She can, yeah, totally. Like total diva energy, the Queen of Wands. But that it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Like any card. But yeah, she can seem arrogant, definitely. But she'll have redeeming qualities, So it's about taking the good with the bad. Joan's got the Five of Wands, someone who challenges me. I went for emotional detachment and I do struggle with that sometimes, right? Okay. So you're needing someone that challenges you. You started with the Six of Swords and now you've got the Magician. Okay. So you're needing someone who can basically show you that you've got everything that you need. What the Magician does for the Fool kind of sets off with his bag, and inside the bag he's got that sword, that wand, that pentacle, and that cup, right? Those are the Fool's 4 tools. He has no idea what they are or what to do with them or what the potential that they hold, but he kind of just has them because that's what he's got with him. When he meets the magician takes those tools from him and shows him the potential that those tools have, right? So it's kind of like the analogy that I always use. It's kind of like if you buy a brand new piano, you've never played the piano before, but you buy a brand new piano, you're like, right, great, I've got this piano, but if I try and play something, then it just sounds like an absolute cacophony. Then you get a piano teacher in, and they can come in and sit down at your piano, and they can play the most amazing tune. They can play Mozart or Bach or whatever it is, like Elton John, you name it, right? They play something amazing and they show you that, that tool can be used for, amazing things. You just need to gain the knowledge and the experience that it takes. And that's what the magician is for you. He's the person that shows you that you are totally capable of creating that safe space for yourself. It doesn't take for someone else to do it for you. You have the capability. You just need to kind of believe in yourself and actually give it the time and work that actually needs. Let your passion guide your decision. Yeah, I like that. That's a nice way to read them. I'm not shy at all, says Jen. I guess I'm not the Queen of Wands. Oh, thank you. Angel versus demon, yep. Self-serving, arrogant bitch, that's me for sure. I don't believe that for a single second. I don't believe it for a second. I can generally spot someone who's quite, more on the arrogant side. I know that we're only interacting through YouTube live chat, but I can generally get a sense for when someone's like that, and I really don't get that sense about you, Jen. You strike me as someone who is actually has a really kind and generous heart, and you're quite humorous in a self-deprecating way. So, yeah. The thing is, I don't think a self-serving, arrogant bitch would say that about themselves. Do you know what I mean? I guess that's how I know that you're not. Anyway, we're on to the third position. The third position is the bend and snap. So, the bend and snap is when Elle helps Paulette in the salon. She's teaching Paulette how to get a guy's attention, and she teaches him the bend and snap. And basically, it's where you drop a pen on the floor in front of them and say, "Oh, oops," and you bend down to get it, and then you kind of spring up with a snap. You bend and snap, right? I don't know why I'm explaining it. We probably all know what the bend and snap is. But it's the thing that Elle teaches Paulette to give her confidence. Now, Paulette does end up sticking the head in the guy and knocking him out, but the bend and snap is the actions. It's the things that we can do in order to gain that confidence. Okay, so we've seen who the ally is. Now we need to know what is it that we need to do to gain that confidence. What can we do? What actions can we take? Now I've got the Queen of Cups. So this is the bend and snap. What actions can I take to gain more confidence? Do you know something that I don't actually know? Yeah, none of the chat that I'm putting in the Instagram chat's working just now, so oh well. Roscoe, you had popped in. Debbie, you had popped in on the Insta chat. Diane. So it shows that no one's watching on Insta just now, which is fine. But if anyone is, then hi. I don't know about the bend and snap. Have you not seen Legally Blonde? You need to watch Legally Blonde. It's a good film. Okay, so for me, what actions can I take to gain more confidence? I've got the Queen of Cups. I feel like that's maybe a bit of a nod to being more comfortable being emotionally vulnerable. I can be that guy that's like, oh no, I can't show my emotions. Do you know what I mean? I can be a wee bit. I can close myself off a wee bit sometimes because I don't want to be emotionally vulnerable. Sometimes I'm better than others, but I do sometimes tell myself that I need to be like the strong one, as though showing emotions isn't strong. But so I feel like that's what I can do. I can be more comfortable in my own emotions and being more emotionally open, emotionally vulnerable. Let's see. Chris says, can you show us? No, I cannot. No one needs to see that. Let's see. Ugh, Jen, do you know, let me tell you something. Lots of us are. Lots of us are. Do you think that, like, see the mask that people present in front of the whole wide world, right? Well, I suppose that is the point. Everyone has the masks that they wear. And don't get me wrong, some people will be more kind of a like who they are on the inside than others, but everyone to some degree puts themselves across in a certain way. It's something that we learn to do over time. You know, as we grow up, we learn that, you know, you need to act a certain way. You know, when we're in work, we need to be professional. You know, when we're on YouTube lives, we need to kind of you know, you need to not show naked cards, which I've failed at today, but you need to not swear, which I've also failed at today several times. But you know what I mean? Like there's you need to put yourself across in a certain way. See the people that you look at that you think, oh, you know, they've got it all together. That's just totally them. I'm pretty sure that they also are portraying themselves in the way that they want to be perceived. So if you're sitting thinking, oh, well, you know, I act all the time, I have to put on this face, it can also like be masking. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm masking all the time. Lots of people are. So don't think that that makes you like a negative person or anything like that. It doesn't. If anything, I think it's the opposite. I think the fact that you have self-awareness and you know to kind of that you need to maybe tame that part of yourself a wee bit, that shows real self-awareness, and it shows, you know, I think is a good thing, because it shows you care about how you come across to other people. It shows that you care about people's feelings and stuff. Anyway, I'm coming off the soapbox and I'm going to keep going. So Sorsha got the 8 of coins. So practice makes perfect, Sorsha. So those ideas, those things that you're kind of like not letting yourself continue with, you need to accept that, you know, things are going to start off a wee bit shit. But you work on it, you build on it, like in that 8 of coins, you build on it until it's, you know, where you want it to be. Nothing starts off perfect. Perfection is something that's only achieved through failing lots and lots of times. Okay? So I suppose allow yourself to fail a wee bit. Oh, Luna apparently agrees with that. I don't know if you've heard that, but she let out a wee howly bark there. That was her saying, here. Jen, you've got the King of Wands. Oh, the Queen and the King, look at that. Oh, you've never seen Legally Blonde. I think you should watch it. It's quite a good film. King of Pentacles for Marita. So quite a lot of us are getting court cards here. See, 6 of Swords, Magician, and then King of Pentacles. So I feel like the King of Pentacles, like kings in general, they're like kind of like they maintain the security of the kingdom, don't they? Kind of like the managers, they make sure that everything stays in order and safe and sustainable. So if you're kind of a thing that you're looking at being the 6 of Swords, you know, bringing that kind of a mental stability, the King, I suppose it's about kind of taking some of the power back, isn't it, and creating that stability for yourself, I guess. And that's what we were saying with the Magician. The Magician is your person who's going to show you that you've got the ability to do it for yourself, and then the King is you almost like stepping into those shoes and doing that. Jones has got unexpected reverse, does that? So reverse 7 of Wands, apparently being less defensive. Oh, unexpected reversal, you've got the reverse 7 of Wands, so being less defensive, right, okay. So, yeah. Okay, perhaps, yeah. Letting your guard down a wee bit. Not needing to have the high ground all like so often, I guess, could be something. Like not feeling like you need to be on top of things all the time. You seem an all-rounder person. Thank you. But is that see, I think that I can be really scattered and, you know, I have my moments just like everyone else. But just like everyone, I'm able to kind of sit in front of here and present myself in a certain way, I guess. Ace of Pentacles, you've triggered the movie. So the Ace of Pentacles for you, Chris. What were your first cards? The Devil and the Knight of Swords. That's right. I suppose the Ace of Pentacles, the thing that you can do is know that you don't just wake up one morning and all of a sudden you're able to say what you think, and it takes practice and you need to build on it. The Ace of Pentacles is like a seed that you've got to bury and, you know, nurture it, water it, feed it, do you know what I mean, for it to grow into the amazing plant or flower that you want it to be. So yeah, like if where you want to get to is being more confident with your words and how you express yourself and speaking your truth, that's not something that it's not a light switch. You can't not do it one day and then all of a sudden you can. It takes work and patience with yourself. It takes being that devil, being willing to get it wrong sometimes and being willing to like kind of own it when you get it wrong, I guess. Own up to it, apologize for it if necessary. So yeah, that's how I would interpret that. And thank you, Saoirse. I aim to be helpful. Okay, and then the fourth card is our inner Stifler's mum. So this represents where we're trying to get to. This represents us. This represents us being more confident, the more confident version of ourselves that we want to get to. I've got the World card, which is kind of nice because the World is, to me, is the card that's about the culmination of all your hard work. So this is Stifler's mum, and I will spell it the American way for the sake of the text. So yeah, so being more I mean, the world has shed all clothing and is dancing naked in the middle of the, you know, whatever it is, in the middle of the sky. So I don't think I'm quite ever going to be an exotic dancer. Don't worry, internet. That I'm not going to put you all through that. However, she does represent that kind of just that self-confidence. It's the kind of like I said, the culmination of everything you've worked for, all your hard work. That's where I'm aiming to be. So that's quite a nice card to get there, and it does suggest that there's quite a nice path to get me to there. So what have you guys got for your fourth card? Twixt Tarot is here. Hey folks, good morning. What positions are in this reading today? So Twixt, this is the Jennifer Coolidge from Paulette to Stifler's mum spread. So it's Jennifer Coolidge's birthday today, hence the spread. And the idea is you are pulling cards to take your inner Paulette and turn it into your inner Stifler's mum. So Paulette is the character that Jennifer plays in Legally Blonde. She's quite quirky and shy and not very confident in herself, and this is our inner Paulette. The second position is Elwood, so this is an ally, something or someone who's going to help us gain confidence. This is the bend and snap. So this is something that we can do to help ourselves to build that confidence, to gain more confidence in ourselves. And then the final card is our inner Stifler's mum. So it's where we're aiming for. Okay, so Chris has got the 10 of Pentacles. So you're trying to get from the ace to the 10, which is nice. Or you're going from the ace to the 10. So that's quite promising. That to me would suggest that, whatever it is that you want to do, you go for it. Stifler's mum has a lot going on. Memory spread, feel like a teenager again. The 6 of Coins for Sorsha. So you're aiming to get to, so where you're aiming to for Sorsha is to get that idea to a place where you can share it and you can help people with it, is how I would read that. Sorry, I can't remember what deck you're using, Sorsha. So it might be that you're using a deck that maybe you would interpret slightly differently. Hello, little Luna. I don't know if you can see her, but she's here to see me. Look at that little face. She's got her paw up on my seat as well. Yes, sweetheart. So yeah, and that, Saoirse, I hope that you take this as a bit of an indicator that you totally can get to that place. This is like a bit of a promise of that if you put in the work that this is telling you to do, if you're willing to keep going at it and fail lots of times, you can get to a place where whatever your idea is, whatever this thing is that you're trying to build, you will be able to get it to a place where it's good enough to be shared out with the people that you want to share it with. So absolutely go for it. Whatever it is, believe in yourself. Just keep going with it. And if there is something that this resonates with, if there's something particular that you're doing that this resonates with, that you felt like you were ready to give up on, and you were questioning whether you wanted to continue with it, I hope that this gives you a wee boost. If nothing else, that it gives you a wee boost, and you're like, actually, fuck yeah, I can totally do this. I'm going to, I can keep going with this. I somehow ended way above there. See, the Wheel of Fortune for Jen. So your Paulette is the Hermit, and then your Stifler's mum is the Wheel of Fortune. So you just need to take one step essentially there, Jen. So you're right. You are perfect just the way you are. You've only got one step to go. I'm not sure. I mean, like, just from the chat that we're having, the thing about the Hermit represents a kind of he's like looking back. To me, the Hermit, I said this last week, so I'll probably sound like a broken record, but the Hermit, if you look at the Hermit and the Rider-Waite-Smith, it kind of echoes the position of the Fool. So the Fool's looking left off a cliff, as is the Hermit, but the Hermit is obviously older and wiser, and it almost represents a bit of a kind of a retracing your footsteps type thing, like thinking back about, the journey that you've been on. And if that's your inner Paulette, then maybe you're really harsh with yourself, which we've maybe seen a wee bit of in the chat. And maybe where your Stifler's mum is the Wheel of Fortune. It's quite, going with the spin of things, going with the flow, and just being happy with whatever happens. More kind of a looking forward than looking back. Yeah. So rather than kind of dwelling on things that have happened, it's more about looking forward to the things that are to come type thing. But is this reading saying that you should try a bit of dancing? Potentially. But certainly it will only be happening in the privacy of my own shower room. Golden, you're off. I hope that your head feels better soon, Golden. Take care. Yeah, me too. I'm really enjoying it. It's been a great wee spread, this. Let's see. So, Marita, you've got the Two of Cups. Okay. So the place that you're aiming for is after you've kind of built that safe space for yourself. I suppose it could be about sharing it with someone, feeling secure enough in yourself to let someone else in, maybe, or to trust someone else. Never seen Legally Blonde, but I know the plot sort of. It's definitely worth a watch, I would say. Jen hasn't seen it either. John's got the Nine of Pentacles, being secure in my own space, nothing to defend, from the Queen of Swords via the Five of Wands through the reverse Seven of Wands to the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles shows that you're headed to a place where you can relax and enjoy the luxuries that you've worked hard to provide for yourself. So that's really nice and really positive in my view. Yeah, she is. She's a lovely dog, so she is. She's got plenty of character in her, and she can be a wee minx sometimes, but she's our little lady. This has been fun and cathartic, I'm glad, especially because you'd said you hadn't tarot much in a while, so I hope I'm glad that you enjoyed this. My angel is learning the bend and snap, and my devil is making a pie. I don't want to know what you're doing with that pie if it's based on the American pie. Laugh so much in this reading. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad. It's nothing quite like a bit of laughter. It's so good for you. Let's see. So Twitch, you started with the Ten of Wands. And you've ended with the Nine of Wands reversed. So to me, where you're lacking in you seem to be taking on too much. That's it. You're doing too much. The Ten of Wands, you're taking all of those wands on your back. You feel like you need to do it all, and through the Tower and the Two of Wands, you're getting yourself to a place where reverse Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands usually for me would represent that kind of a defensive stance. You've built up that fence, and it's almost like you've got to a place where you're just sick of everything, and you're just in a place of being defensive. Whereas when you've turned that around, it's like you get zero fucks left to give, essentially. You see those memes where it's like, this is my box of fucks. It is empty. That's where you're aiming to get yourself to, right? That is your, I keep going to say Jennifer Coolidge, that is your Stifler's mum. It's where your box of fucks runneth empty. And the place that you're coming from, your Paulette, where you're maybe lacking in confidence a bit, is this Ten of Wands. So you're lacking confidence in saying no, essentially. You're taking on too much. You're not quite feeling like you can say no to people. The Tower is your ally. So that to me suggests actually that there's maybe some external factors that are coming in that are actively going to stop you from taking on so much. So watch out for that, because as much as that's an ally, the Tower's always a kind of a blessing in disguise. So that could be something that's coming in that's going to stop you from being able to take all those things on, and just be wary and be mindful of it. Watch out for it, because it might not come in such a nice form. Something that you can do, the Two of Wands. So this is like building things up slowly. You know, you've gone from 10 wands down to just 2. So you've taken something that's like, you know, quite a heavy burden, and you're taking it to something that's much more manageable. And you know, the 2 of Wands is like you're kind of looking at that. You know, depends what deck you're using, I suppose, but it's like you're planning things out. You know, you're actually thinking about things. You're looking ahead and thinking, right, okay, what can I take on today? Let's make a plan for all of this stuff. So I've got to move to 10 wands from A to B, right? Okay, well, let's make a plan. Let's look at my schedule. Let's make a wee plan in how I'm going to do that. Maybe I'm going to delegate. Maybe I'm going to ask this person and that person to maybe take some of the load. Maybe I'm going to do it in 2 different trips. Do you know what I mean? It's about making that plan. That's the thing that you can do. That's your bend and snap. That's how you can kind of bring sexy back almost. Do you know what I mean? It's how you get your mojo back. And then you're getting to that place, your reverse 9 of wands, which is where you give 0 Fs. I don't know why I'm now saying F when I've been swearing like a sailor throughout this whole thing. Anywho, Sorsha, thanks, Chris. I wonder if this is about reading tarot in the ambulance. Ah, okay. Okay, maybe it is. I would love for, I mean, that would definitely fit in, because it's something that once you're ready to share it, you'll be able to help people. And definitely, like when you're talking about reading tarot for other people, you need to be willing to, you know, you'll have people every now and then. It doesn't happen very often, but you will get people that will say, do you know what, no, doesn't resonate with me. You need to be willing to kind of pick yourself back up after that, because it can dent your confidence. But you need to be willing to say, right, okay, well, you know, that's fine, you know, we'll kind of leave it there. You've got some things to think about. Like, you can let me know if anything clicks into place. You need to be able to take that and not let that completely affect you. So there's definitely an aspect of being willing to be wrong and being willing to feel. But also remember that 3 of Swords was that kind of a tough truths we were saying, you know. So sometimes when you're reading tarot for people, you need to be willing to say things that can maybe be a bit blunt. So yeah. My birth card is the Wheel of Fortune and the Magician. No, I always forgive myself, says Jen. The Hermit isn't shy. He deliberately withdraws for spiritual purposes. True, but it can be shy. It can definitely represent somebody who's shy. There's nothing to say that the Hermit is never shy and is always confident, you know. I don't think that that's the absolute essence of what the Hermit is, but he definitely can be someone who's quite shy. And it's not about the Hermit was in the position of Paulette. So the Hermit was in the position of shyness, of that position of maybe a bit of lack of confidence. That's where I was coming from with that, Marita. My goal is to live with Daniel, but finances are an issue for us both right now. Right, okay. I'm going to turn into a pumpkin. Thanks, Chris. Thanks all. Good night. Thanks very much for joining us, Jones. It was lovely to see you. I think this is about having better boundaries and owning my stuff, getting to choose my own path instead of doing things for other folk that I really don't want to do. I'm starting my cross stitch on the barren field of Hudson. Good. Let's see. I meant that I don't have any inner Paulette being shy. I have tons of the Hermit though. Thank you for the split. You're welcome. So Marita, your bottom card. Yeah, so for anyone that reads bottom cards, what was your bottom card, folks? Mine is the King of Swords. Pop on there. And then he moves out of the screen. That's a bit rude. Yours is the Knight of Cups. That is my Daniel for sure, says Marita. That's nice. I like to add the cards up. So let's see. So kings are 14, queens are 13, and then we've got 21 for the world and 6 for the lovers. So 21 plus 13 is 34, plus 14 is 48, 34, 48, plus the 6 is 54. So 5 and 4 is 11. So justice, which, funnily enough, King of Swords being the bottom card is quite similar looking to justice. Interesting. Justice and the King of Swords. Not really sure how they fit into all of this, but yeah. Does anyone else want to share the bottom card or do the addition, the numbers? So Jen's bottom card is the moon, and Chris has the 5 of cups as the bottom card, and 38 reducing to 11 as well, so justice for you as well. Or do you see 11 as strength in your deck, Chris? Twixt has got the King of Cups as the bottom card. Nice. Okay. Well, I think I also will be turning into a pumpkin soon. So I'm going to love yous and leave yous. So next week, remember, I will be live with Gerald. Gerald is going to come on and do some sip and sling. Yeah, sip and sling with me. I can't wait. The following week after that will be the 11th. I won't be live that week because I've got a work event on the Thursday. And then the week after that, I'm expecting Kristen Louise to come on and do a sip and sling with me. So lots of exciting things coming up. If anyone here would like to come on and do this with me, anyone is more than welcome. Just contact me by, Facebook chat, Insta chat, respond to my post on the, the Facebook group, send me an email, elementalcardmancy@gmail.com. Let me know. I would absolutely love for some, to welcome on any of our regular card slingers here to actually come on to the live and do this with me. So take care, everyone. Look after yourselves. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll